Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Dockside at the Bay. I am Vinnie. This is Kim. Ooh, I got to change my background. I do apologize for that. I didn't realize it.
It's all right. I didn't see it either until you just mentioned it.
I can go ahead and do that quickly while I'm on the screen. And there we go. All right. So, anyways, we are here for you. We do want to apologize for last week. There was no episode of Dockside at the Bay last week, simply because of the fact that life got in the way. That's all there is to it. That's all I'll say. Life got in the way.
Life gets in the way sometimes, but we're here to talk about the most recent episode, and I'm excited for that.
Yes, we absolutely are, and that's the episode that we're going to be talking about, which is episode season 4. I believe it's episode 4. Season 4, episode 4, right?
Or was it 3? Yes, I believe we're on episode 4. Yes, called Family Feuds. I know that much.
Yes, yep. And we finally got a chance to find out what happened with Colton and Tamara, and we did get to find out about we saw Adam get even creepier.
Yeah, just when you think he can't top that level, he just finds a new level of weirdness and or creepiness to ascend to. And
yes.
Yeah, that was a fun little cliffhanger that it left us at the end of the episode.
Oh yeah. But before we even get into that, I do want to let everybody know, as always, we are an official affiliate of the WWE shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Go over to suds-media.com/wrestling merch and get whatever you want, whether it's something from Paul Heyman, ECW, WCW, legends, current NXT, WWE stars, Hall of Famers, or what have you. When you use that link, we do get a commission, and it helps the show. If so go ahead, help us out. I shop there all the time, as you can probably tell by the shirts that you see me wear. Also, we do have, we are also an affiliate of Podpage, podpage.com/suds. If you're a podcast looking for any kind of website, go over to Podpage. They're the ones that run our website, and it auto imports your RSS feed as well as YouTube videos, and automatically posts to your social media. So there's a lot of automation along with it. Podpage.com/suds, and that again will help us out with a commission. Also, mark your calendars. November 16th to the 17th. On the 16th at 12 noon, we are starting a 24-hour charity telethon to support the organization Samantha's Friends. As you know, we've talked about Samantha's Friends in the past. Kim has attended a couple of their galas down in Florida, and they're just a fantastic organization. They help out with rehoming service animals when necessary. But we're getting that together. It's going to be 24 hours. You're going to see multiple of our podcasting friends, whether it's me, Kim, Angela, also Jonathan from Church Off Sports, Princess Skywalker, Big Mike from the Run-In podcast, and many, many more. Working on some celebrity interviews to come on, and just to kind of entertain you. We'll be talking about soaps and wrestling and everything in order to raise money for Samantha's. Something good for us to do going forward in terms of something annual. And just because it's going to be around the holidays and we want to give back. So that's what's going to happen in just a couple of weeks, actually. It'll be Saturday, November 16th at 12 noon, going for 24 hours. All right.
Looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Also, go ahead and subscribe to our Patreon, patreon.com/Suds and Squared Circle. All of our pre-recorded shows, whether it's Dockside at the Bay, Take Me Down to Studio City, Sports Entertainment Center, and Angela Answers Fan Mail, they all go to Patreon early and ad-free once we start getting ads. But they'll be early and ad-free on Patreon because they'll go out as soon as we're done recording, as opposed to waiting waiting for them to be released to YouTube and the RSS feed and all of that. Dockside is Bay releases on the YouTube and RSS feed on Wednesday at noon. Take Me Down to Studio City is Thursday at noon. Sports Entertainment Center is Friday at noon. But they all go to Patreon first. And support the show, patreon.com/Suds_Circle. If you just want to support the show, go to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media. You could do a donation right from there, and it does help us out for whatever it may be. We want to bring on some celebrity guests. We want to be able to do some on location stuff, like going to, the gala for Samantha's friends. And if you help us out, we could do more stuff and bring you some behind the scenes footage and interviews and all of that. So buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media, and all that does help us out. All right, Kim, how's your week?
Week's going pretty well. I'm getting excited. I'm actually going out to LA to go to Day of Days.
Okay.
A friend of mine and I are really looking forward to it. This is going to be my 3rd year going, so I'm very excited about that. And we have tickets to see the day players as well, so that'll be a lot of fun.
Awesome. You'll probably see Matt and Kat from the 10th floor. They'll be there as well.
Oh, awesome! Yeah,
for Day of Days.
And for the 60th too. I know it's going to be, it's indoors. It's at the Peacock Theater, I want to say.
Yes.
Which I guess that was, I think, where the Emmys were held this past. So that's pretty sweet. So I'm really looking forward to that. And I don't know, weather-wise though, it's like I'm going to get out to LA and be nice, sunny, what have you there. Hopefully, here today though in Chicago is 80 degrees. So it's like what? Now the weather decides to be all fun and nice and summery, and right when I'm leaving town. So
yeah, go figure. But yeah, go have fun. Meet up with Matt and Kat from the 10th floor. They'll be there. They got media passes. They'll be doing interviews as well. I think they're doing players as well. However, one person you won't be seeing there is Brandon Barash. His contract with Days ended, so he is gone as of yesterday, no longer airing.
I saw that. Well, Brandon is in the day players group though, so
that's true. Yes.
Yes. Hopefully, I'll see him there. But yes, I did see that about that all just kind of unfolded very fast.
We GH fans are hoping he comes back as Johnny Zakara.
So. Oh, I didn't even realize he was on GH.
Oh yeah, he was on GH for a long time. He was a major player.
Actually, it was kind of funny. One of the first roles I actually saw him in, and it took me. I did a double take, but one of my favorite shows is Gilmore Girls, and he actually played a character on Gilmore Girls. He was a kid.
Yeah.
But I saw the cast. I was like, wait a minute, this guy looks familiar. And then sure enough, it was him. So. Yeah. No, he's a talented guy. I hope that he gets over to GH or gets on some other show soon, because Days was kind of, I don't know. I think they were kind of. I'm not really sure what their plan is right now with Days. I'm kind of curious to see how everything's all gonna. There's a lot of stuff happening right now, and I just kind of wonder with the head writing team when we're gonna start seeing their stuff. And I don't know. I'm curious.
Yeah, and because they filmed so far in advance, it's so hard. It's amazing they kept it quiet.
You're telling me. No, and I don't know. Part of me feels like I know that they do that for there's reasons, obviously, like budget and terms like that. But I admit it does kind of create kind of a weird. You kind of just have to like wait for stories to play out, and there isn't really any room for them to pivot anything or change. So it's an interesting way to kind of for them to go about doing what they do. But I know the people over Edition Days that's hosted by Tony Moore. They constantly joke about, we found out that Bo and Hope are coming back in 9 months. And Sammy's coming back in 8 months or whatever it is. Yeah, so something to look forward to, but at the same time, it's just like could be a little. I mean, that's the one thing. At least with the Bay, we're lucky because at least we don't have to like wait for. I mean, obviously we have to wait, but at least the rewatch that we're doing now, it's just instant gratification. It's like move on to the next.
Yep.
And now we're all all current with everything. So. Yeah.
Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about season 4, episode 4 of The Bay, which is Gregory Martin's creation. And just what an episode. Like I said in the beginning, we saw Adam get even creepier. We saw, you know, um, just a lot of stuff happened.
Absolutely. I mean, and they jumped around kind of in the previous episode. We had talked about how there had just been like a lot of moving parts with the characters, and we saw a lot of different characters, and we saw a lot of different storylines, and that kind of similar with this episode too. They just kind of
Yep.
like jump and they touch on like so many different kind of situations that are going on, and all these threads that are kind of interweaving all at once. And yeah, I mean, you started at the top, and we've got a new, there was a new face at at the Roadhouse. What's the name of the bar? Why am I
Yeah.
blanking on the name of the bar? Thank you.
I think that's what it is. A Roadhouse.
I think so. Anyways, the pub, the restaurant.
Yeah.
We have Tamara there, but then we have a redhead who we hadn't previously been introduced to, and it turned out that they just expanded Mickey's family a little bit. It's Mickey's
Yes.
sister, who I believe we saw in the
In the
flashback.
picture. Right.
Yes, because she was on the pier with Mickey and the boys
Yes.
that
Yep.
day. So we had seen her, but this is the first time we're seeing
She
her in
was
like the present
introduced, but not
stateside.
actually fleshed out.
Exactly. And now they have the opportunity to go in and just kind of flesh her character out a little bit more. She introduces herself to Tamara as Mickey's sister, and explains that Mickey's kind of left town after testifying, which makes sense
Makes
given
sense.
the whole situation.
Yep.
But I don't know, like one of my gut reaction watching that scene, because it comes up obviously. Tamara says, "Oh, I dated Mickey's son," and the
Yeah.
automatic assumption is that she had dated Kenneth.
Yep.
But when Tamara says, "Oh no, I meant Chase," her reaction when, oh my gosh, I made a note of that. Like, and then she just doubles down. We don't talk about him. He's our family's
Right.
dirty little secret. It's like, oh my god,
That's
like
crazy.
it's like we know that he's a son of a bitch, but my goodness, just like that reaction, and then those lines afterwards, I was just like, even though I've already seen the episode before, I had forgotten just how intense and how hostile that was. In the way she just said that, I was like, oh my goodness, wow, okay,
Yeah.
like her entire tone changed, and I just
Hmm.
had made a note of that. But then, of course, we have we go talking about one creep, and then Colton walks in.
Yes. And we
Colton
asked
walks
last time about Colton and Tamara because Tamara was at the party with that, for Sarah being released from prison, and she was
in.
solo. So we
Yeah,
had wondered what had happened. We knew last season, at the end of the season, Colton showed a very bad and abusive side.
yeah,
Um, but now we know they did. Tamara basically broke up with him.
yeah. She basically kind of, we have Colton basically like, he cozies up to the table and he's trying to sit down, and then she's all like, I actually have some folks that are meeting me. You shouldn't sit here. And you almost wonder if she's telling the truth or if she's just saying that just to make him go away, or what the situation is. But then we have her father, who I think
Yep.
I was calling him Todd. I think his name is Todd.
Ty.
Yeah, I was calling him Todd. So I apologize for that. His name is Ty. But Ty walks over, and right when Colton is like saying, you're just going to be a bitch to his daughter,
Yep.
and Ty is not having that. And you want to watch that mouth, and immediately like Colton like, oh, I'm sorry.
Backs off. Yep.
Yep. It's like, okay, well, at least, Ty is good for something, but it's like, okay, clearly Colton needs strong male presence in order to
Yeah.
feel any need to kind of, back away.
Oh yeah.
Just
Well,
Tamara telling him no
that's
is
the
not
key
enough.
about somebody who's an abuser is that they prey on women that don't have that strong male
Yeah,
figure in their lives.
yeah. And I mean, it was at least, Ty walks in when he does, and then Colton like just kind of, backs away, slinks away slowly, and then we see Avery there as well. And you think that it's going to be a nice like kind of father daughter thing, and everything seems okay, but then um you know Ty kind of shows his true colors when he's just kind of talking about Daniel, and
Hmm.
then happy family moment kind of evaporates again.
Yeah.
because Avery, see what was I the exact line, so I remember since I was a kid, I wanted a son. Somewhere along the line, I got three daughters. And even though he's
Yeah.
saying it like as a joke, it's still just it's and Avery just gets up from the table and she's just like, I wish I could say it was a pleasure to see you, but it wasn't.
Yeah, and that
So
obviously that was a knock on Daniel. Daniel being
hmm
gay.
yep.
Um, and it's funny because my son is gay and we tease him like that too. So I mean, I don't. I think Avery took that a little too personal, um, and she overreacted a little bit. But that's just me,
Yeah.
and it's
But there's also the factor too that like the dad is not exactly the most like I mean, he's not exactly involved in their life to begin with.
right.
And
Yeah,
then, I mean, but it's kind of funny because he turns to Tamara after the fact and he's just like, you want to tell me what that's all about? Like he's looking at Tamara for all the answers when it comes to Avery. And it's kind of funny because, obviously, like they're, related by blood, but it's just, you associate Avery and Daniel as like the stronger. And then Tamara's just, I mean, she's the
she's like
daughter as
this
well, but
black
it's just,
sheep.
yeah, yeah. And then Tamara just kind of gives him this blank look, like, well, I don't know. I don't know
Exactly.
what to do at this point. There's just a lot that's been going on at this table since you sat down
Yes.
and since, this other guy stood up. So, yeah, interesting kind of dramatic thread there and just kind of showing that family tension. But I think that this is the last, unless I'm remembering incorrectly, I don't know if we see much of Ty after this. I
No,
think
he
he's
said he
kind
was
of,
leaving town.
yeah.
So
So, you know, kind of
just
an
there for a
interesting
couple of
little,
weeks,
yeah,
just to say hi.
create a little
How are you?
drama, a little tension.
Yeah.
But
We do
yeah,
we do end up seeing Vivian in New York. She's
mm,
on a modeling shoot,
yep,
um,
yep,
and she ends up flashing back and remembering a
yes,
conversation with Adam before she left.
yeah. So we get to see some more Adam creepiness.
Yep.
He shows up and it's mostly just like verbal, sparring, but he's got the same old chip on his shoulder as before.
Yes.
The just keeps on going about like, oh, you married that Prince Charming money, um, you know. And then she's like, but Vivian, I love the way that she handles him. I love the way that she
Yes.
just like, she just gives it right back. She's just like, I'm not gonna let you like stand there and bully your way into our lives. You're not, gonna. When he accuses her of being like a gold digger, she just says basically like, make my own money. Like, you don't know a damn thing about me. You need
Yep.
to earn a place with your mother and your brother before you even can approach me, and like all of this. And then I love too the kicker when she basically like, he's like laying into Sarah and just saying that she can burn in hell, all of that. But then you have Vivian who just counters it with just, my mom is dead and I do anything to get her back. And even though
Yep.
I might be causing Sarah a crazy amount of grief by even like suggesting this, you need to get to know her and not take her for granted. Like she calls him a spoiled piece of shit. She is just like she gives it back. So even though he's like clearly there trying to like intimidate her and be annoying and just be a pest and just get under her skin, she's not having it. And
Yeah.
it made for a
But
great scene.
I love the fact that they portray her as a strong, a strong female. That
Oh yeah, yeah. No,
she
she
makes her
doesn't.
own decisions.
Yeah, she doesn't take any crap. She just because she is so. She's so soft and sweet sometimes, and you kind of think like, oh yeah, but no, you see her in a scene like that, and it's just like, oh no, I'm going to like call you out for what you are, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
put up with any of your crap and your creepiness from in my house.
Yeah.
And it was a great, great little flashback, great little kind of, and it adds on to the Adam stuff and it adds like a different, dimension to like, their relationship to a degree. Cause like, I think the last time they had interacted, when was it? When they were on the beach
I
and
think
he got
so.
all weird.
Yeah.
So it was kind of nice seeing like the
No,
follow up
no,
to,
they was it. It was after that. I thought because
oh, maybe, oh,
when
wait,
Vivian
yeah.
was just waking up and Adam came in, because that's when he also had it. Was that when he had it out with Pete?
I don't know. It's kind of
When
blurring
Pete said,
together
"I
a
listened
little
to
bit.
you that night, and
Yeah.
you were performing for me."
Yeah, no, 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 you're right. You're right. It all kind of blurred together a little bit for me, but
Yep.
either way, just we're kind of getting, just an add-on to all of that, existing drama that was between them. But then, Pete calls and end flashback, and
Yep.
then, poor Viv finds out about Will, that he's in the hospital and, in critical condition still and everything as a result of the shooting. So
Yeah.
that kind of puts a damper on her whole modeling, thing in New York.
Oh yeah. And then there's just a quick scene where Pete comes, goes back home and sees Sarah, and they're talking, and that's when Sarah kind of sees the news because Zoe comes over as well. Or no, I'm sorry, that's a little later. Pete and Sarah are kind of talking, and Pete says, "Oh, I didn't threaten Adam not to come to your party."
Right. Yeah, they're kind of talking a little bit about that because Sarah was disappointed that he didn't, show up.
Yep.
But he's asking if he wants to go over and speak with Daniel. I guess that's kind of why he
Yes.
was at the mansion in the first place or at the estate, and just discusses Daniel having a hard time coming out, everything like that. But then Sarah starts like they have like their little sweet bonding moment. But then Sarah makes a phone call to Cleo, who is the lawyer, just basically, doing a much needed check in on some of her international holdings because we'd had that scene with Sophia basically indicating that like there was an issue with Europe and property and her psychic visions.
Yeah. And then, so she ends up calling and finding out that Steve's name is on all the properties.
Which, like, Sarah, come on, honey. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Well,
soon
I'm
as you got
wondering.
out of prison,
I'm
should have made,
wondering if he.
gotten him off everything.
Yeah, but I'm almost wondering if she didn't realize that his name was on them.
I
Because
would hope so, because otherwise that's a pretty big, like, no. I mean, she does say like on all of them, and the expression
yeah,
on her face. So maybe she was blindsided, but either way, that's not good. And
right,
one would hope that like, you call your lawyer and you're checking in on that stuff that like, oh yeah, no, we handled that, as soon as like
right,
we realized that you want it, but no, we need the drama. So yeah,
yeah.
Steve is, messing around in Europe and causing, some or has potential to be causing problems and things over there.
But
And
that's what John Blackwell is on the case for. He's
that's
hunting
what John
Steve.
Black was on the case for. Even though Steve does have an ally in what's his name? Somewhat. He
Adam.
does have an ally in Adam.
Yep.
But John Blackwell also, he's got friends. He's got connections.
Yep.
He's strutting around in Belgium, going into bars and just,
And
talking
I'm
to
wondering if
people.
they really filmed on location in Belgium because the architecture looked like it was
I want
European.
to say that they did. It did look very. I want to say yes. I want to say that they did manage to at least shoot some of those sequences in overseas and stuff like that because honestly, like the location shots were just gorgeous and everything was
Yeah.
so like I could see it. That'd be
Yeah.
and that's pretty sweet if that was the case. Just but yeah, they show him just kind of like strolling through Belgium. I think it was Ghent. I think that was the name of the city or something like that.
Something like that. Yeah.
Jotted that down. But he's just kind of wandering, goes into this bar, orders a beer, and then he's asking, "Do you know this man?" But
Mm-hmm.
we're not sure who this gentleman is, and then we find out goes by the name of Mr. Lambert,
Mm-hmm.
and the bartender's like trying to warn him off and saying like, he's a very private man. If he wants to be found, he'll let you know. But then, little money changes hands, and we end up getting, information that this guy hangs out, gets coffee at the crack of dawn at a certain
Mm-hmm.
spot. And so John Blackwell's just like, ooh, okay, I know where I'm going now. And
Yep.
then he also, makes sure to tell his hotel, the
I'm
guy
not
behind the
here.
desk at the hotel, not
Yeah.
here, no circumstances, don't tell anyone. And then we have that clerk start chatting with the other clerk. You gotta wonder what they're saying back and forth.
I think that was just along the lines of coming from a hotel industry. That was probably just saying, that gentleman's in room XYZ. He wants anonymity.
Yeah. But
I
yeah,
mean,
you always wonder if there's another thread and they're up to something.
Right, yeah. Well, most of the time, by law, we're not, hotel agents are not supposed to give out, room numbers, and they're not even technically supposed to verify if somebody's staying there. But, a lot of times you'll get people that call. And I remember when I was working in hotels, and it's still the case, if somebody calls for somebody, and if they say, oh, can I have room XYZ? Or if they ask for so-and-so, you have to get their last name. You have to get, the last name that the room is under, so that you know you're talking to somebody legit and not a threat.
Gotcha.
So it happens. But yeah, Blackwell goes to the clerk and says, "I'm not here. No, under no circumstances let anybody know I'm here." And then I have a feeling that's just what the other guy, you know,
Yeah.
that's what the clerk said to the other clerk.
Well, I mean, it's understandable he doesn't want to be disturbed. I mean, he's up on, his computer. They show him in his room, like looking at a newspaper, and he's all, "Who the fuck is this guy? What does he have to do
Yeah,
with Jensen?" Sipping on his scotch, all like thoughtful and
yeah,
trying to figure stuff out,
just like a typical PI movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. We've he's still got that intensity, but it's quieter now. You know.
Yes, and I and it's like we saw the softer part with Janice. Does he
Yes,
know that
we did.
Janice does he know that Janice killed herself?
Mm, I don't think so,
We
actually.
haven't really seen anything like that because we know that he was in town when she killed herself because
Yeah,
she didn't because he went to Evan with the information about Jensen, like
yeah.
after she, it was announced that she had committed suicide, but um
Hmm.
I don't
I
we haven't seen.
Yeah, we didn't get any reaction, and we didn't get any kind of. They just kind of jumped to him being, on the plane, heading out,
Yep.
taking off on this mission. So I can't remember if like he learns after or if that thread continues or not. I mean,
I
because
mean,
they
I
did have
know
that
that.
conversation when they have a little bit of like not closure between them, but they do kind of
Right.
discuss, you know. But I
I
wonder. I
wonder if
can't
he just
remember
wrote her
if
off.
yeah, I can't remember if that's kind of the last where we kind of see them interacting, and then we don't really see him reacting to her death. But
Yeah.
either way, we did see that softer side though with her, and we did kind of see him not mellow, but just a little bit more pulled back, especially given the fact that like his son is so volatile,
Yep.
which we'll see more of. So
Yep. Exactly. Um, and then we cut to Pete outside, and Zoe comes over to him, and they start talking, and she's like,
mm,
she asks how everything is going with Vivian and how the relationship is, because she's remembering everything with Brian because
yep,
it's been what did she say, 5 years?
yeah,
Um,
something like that. Yeah.
since we were supposed to get married and everything went down, and it went down right here. Um,
Yeah, she says like he proposed to her after there was like a baseball game. Like they're reminiscing and they're talking about
yeah,
this, shared love for Brian, and you know, um, like it was just an interesting conversation because you have it where like, she's very protective of Viv and just asking like how she's doing and if Pete's gonna like look after her and take care of her and everything. But Pete admit like he says like I know Brian hurt you and I'm sorry, but I need to know or you need you to know that I'm not him. I genuinely love Viv and I'm going to do the best I can for her. And she even kind of says like I don't want you married to her because you're grateful to her. I want you to be married to her because you love her. And Pete assures her repeatedly that he does and that she doesn't have anything to worry about. But he does say like he expresses his concern for Zoe, which I thought was really sweet. Just I love Brian. He is my big brother, but might be time you find a man with both of his feet on the ground and let
yeah.
him go. Which I just thought was a really that was because he's obviously he knows that even though she obviously still cares deeply for Brian, that she deserves better than
Well,
someone who's
my thing is like if so. Here's where again adding logic to an illogical show. They know that Brian didn't set the bomb. They know it was Jensen. You know, and I
yeah.
guess they have proof of it now. So why is he still in prison? I guess that's what Sarah's been fighting for.
I They did. I mean, the only and it wouldn't cause him to remain in jail. The fact that he's being uncooperative, I would
Right.
assume. Like he
Unless he
hasn't been a
got
model
other
prisoner, but
unless he got other charges, because if you get into fights and you get other charges added on, they could keep you. So that's a
hmm,
possibility.
I suppose, yeah, it's all a little murky when it comes to Brian because it's like he's talked about a few times and referenced, but we haven't seen him since Bay the Beginning. You
Right.
know, and it's just kind of he's kind of hanging out there in the dark, and gets discussed, but as far as it's just kind of a murky sort of situation with that character a little bit. And
Yeah.
obviously, it makes sense that Sarah would want to see her son out of jail. And obviously, it makes sense that, like, Pete is concerned for Zoe's feelings for him still and everything. I mean, it's interesting that they still kind of bring him into the fold, but at the same time, it's like we haven't even seen the guy in
Right.
multiple
Yeah.
seasons now. So it's just kind of funny how he's there but he's not.
Yeah. Exactly. Normally, normally in soap operas, when you start talking about a character that's been off
Right.
screen, means that they're
Oh,
coming
they start
back.
referencing it, and then you're like 2 weeks later, that person's back from the dead or something. Yeah.
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 But
No,
not in
I
this
mean that's
show.
why that would always, you'd hear a name discussed or a name dropped, and it's just like, oh wait a minute, that's so and so. Wait, they're coming back. Yay.
Yeah.
you know. So,
But
but yeah, in this case, we don't really, we just kind of have him still in jail, and we still have like everyone just kind of, operating around him, even though he was so pivotal in Bay the beginning. He's kind
yeah,
of,
Bay the
they kind of
beginning was
sidelined him
almost centered around him.
to a degree. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he was obviously, Pete was, a but we had him in the mix too, and then they just kind of shifted gears, and it's funny how stuff changes like that.
Yeah. Exactly. But we'll see. Like I said, this is all brand new for me. I haven't watched anything at this point, so if it
Hmm.
comes up, it comes up. But I'm not holding my breath. Um,
You won't get any spoilers out of me. At least I'll try and help. I'll try and keep that away from you.
um, moving on. Then we get the part where Sarah has the TV on, and they learn about Liana shooting Will, and this is the first.
Hmm.
So she's beside herself, obviously, because she cares about Will,
Yeah.
um, and she has to get down to the. She wants to get down to the hospital. Obviously, Sarah and Pete already knows. Sarah is shocked. Who else
Hmm.
was there? There was a fourth person there. Um,
Yeah, we had it where it was just initially Sarah and RJ, and
oh yeah,
then
RJ. That's
Zoe.
right.
Yeah, well, because RJ, he's like, he's so sweet, comes in and Sarah's all, "How was work? How are you?" And he's all, "Avery got me this job, and I appreciate it, but you can tell he's just very conflicted based on everything that he just saw." And then Sarah's all like, "Well, if it's affecting your schoolwork, you should, she's just being like grandma or Nana." He calls her
Yeah,
Nana. And it's just like, oh, and they have a sweet little moment. And then he's like, "It's not the workload. I saw a guy get shot today." And,
yeah,
it's just, and then Sarah finds out, it was Will. And then they like showed footage even of like on the TV. They showed Nardo leading Liana
yeah.
away from the police, all of that. And then Zoe, like you said, just like completely, which I get it. She cares about Will, but I don't know. Part of the reaction just seemed a little like, whoa, like a
Well,
little
like I was like her. Yeah, it almost sounded like too fake, almost like
not. I was just like
what?
a little taken. Yeah, I was like, I don't know. It just seemed like it was a very extreme reaction, and I was like, obviously she's close to this guy and knows who he is and cares about him and everything, but it was like,
See, and
whoa,
I
when
thought it
she
was almost a little too fake.
it was a
Just
little, it was a little heightened. It was a little bit, a
I
little
don't
much.
think it was natural enough. Like I thought, based on what I heard, based on how she said it, it was almost like what, like almost like a scripted thing, like we do for James Law Jr. It's almost like I know it, and I know it's a script, but
Yeah.
it didn't sound like it
Yeah.
was.
I don't know. It felt a little bit too just, yeah, like you said, a little over the top, a little bit just, there was something there, which didn't like, it didn't ring as, obviously she cares about the guy, but it just didn't
Yeah,
ring to me as like true as it probably could have. And that, but I did like when she's like, I did appreciate her one line when she says, like Zoe's like, she wants to see him. And then like, they were like visiting hours. And she's like, "Oh, honey, I don't care about the visiting hours." And then,
yeah,
I liked
and
that.
then
The
Sarah
way
tells
she said
Pete,
that to
"You
him.
go with her."
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I
um,
did
but
like
when she
that
gets
one.
but when she gets to the hospital, Will had already started to be transported to
Yeah.
Cleveland.
Yeah. He's going to the Cleveland Clinic, which,
Is it Cleveland, California, or Cleveland, Ohio?
mm, No, Cleveland Clinic's in Ohio. I remember like that was always like where you'd go when like you needed like something like they couldn't treat you at your hospital or your, so you go to the Cleveland Clinic and they'll take care of you and they'll fix you up and they'll make you okay because it's like
Wow,
renowned.
that's a long flight.
I
That's
was
like
gonna
a what,
say,
5 or 6 hour flight?
yeah. I mean, give or like I don't know, Ohio. Okay, so I think my flight to LA is gonna be about 4.5 hours from Chicago.
Okay,
Ohio's
that
not
makes
too
sense.
far away. So give or take, yeah. But no, Cleveland Clinic's where they send you when, yeah, you need some sort of big deal procedure done.
See, and
They
I
don't know
thought
where
it
to
was,
take you.
more of a local, specialization
I was
hospital.
gonna say, like Cedar Sinai, what they couldn't help you out. I mean,
Yeah.
maybe something in the Bay Area. Maybe obviously University Hospital wasn't equipped enough. But one would think there's other hospitals in California, but nope. Cleveland Clinic, I guess, is where he has to go for this procedure. So he's
Well,
already been transferred there.
yeah.
And then we just kind of get, Zoe, more of Zoe just completely melting down and beside
And
herself.
then
But
the
we
way
also,
that Pete hugs her, and then in the
yeah,
background you see Nardo bringing Liana out. I'm assuming it's from some therapy appointment or something.
yeah. But then they show him in the elevator too, just kind of, just looking like reeling from everything that's just gone on. And
Yep.
yeah, just
Because you got to
a
think
lot of,
about it. First off, his daughter commits suicide, and then his granddaughter is going through all this legal drama. And then you also hear on that same TV news segment that Will declined to press charges,
yeah, yes.
which in any case, I'm assuming with when it's a shooting, the state does it anyways.
I would think that, yeah, especially when it's involving the shooting of a police officer, I feel like, yeah, there's going to be,
Yeah,
you
because
know,
usually that gets picked up by the FBI, a
yeah,
shooting of a police officer or something.
that tracks. Yeah. No, I mean, either way, there's still, even if he's declining to press charges, there's still going to be,
There's still
fallout
going to be some legal troubles.
for sure. For sure. And you can tell, like, yeah, he's just got the weight of the world on his shoulders. Poor man. All he had to do was just stand there in the elevator. Didn't even have to
Yeah,
say a word, and you could just see it. So
and the poor
kudos to
guy
A.
just
Martinez in that, because
and the poor guy he was retired in Puerto Rico and living his life, and now he's back in Bay City and dealing with all of this just like
he's got a
in
lot
no
on his
time.
plate right now. He's got a lot to
Yeah,
contend with. Poor man. But trying to think. I mean, we do have though. I mean, that's not like the last of the drama though. We do have,
oh,
we do have a fun little sequence at the very end. Well, actually, no, we did. There's a few more. Yeah, there was. Like I said, it was like last week's episode when there were just a lot of different characters and a lot of different threads happening. Same with this.
yep, yeah. So
Same
we
with
did
this.
see a quick scene with um uh Steve Jensen is sleeping, and he's here, his phone ringing,
You
and
wonder. You think that he's having a nightmare because he keeps on repeating like,
right.
"No, no, no," but it's not that. He said he was having a very pleasant dream, or he was being
But
very sarcastic.
we get the idea that he's in Europe.
Mm. Yeah, get the idea that he's like, on the lam somewhere.
Yeah,
He's trying to, hide out, but um he finds out that from his ally, from Adam.
yep.
I'm just trying to
And
pull up my notes
you
here.
know, Adam tells him that Blackwell is on his
Yep.
case
Yeah, basically just kind of tips him off to the fact that, and
because
because we also,
Adam tricked Riley into
yeah.
telling him.
Oh, Riley. I think that was the exact thing I wrote. Oh, Riley.
Yeah,
Just like, she's, she's looking for Arthur because she feels like, he can help represent, you know, uh, he can help represent Liana. She's just
right.
thinking in terms of helping her friend and going to these bigwig lawyers to do so. It's like first she goes to the DA, realizes that won't work.
Yep.
So now she goes, follows his direction, goes to try and find him. But Adam sees her kind of snooping through the office and all of this. And, she says, like, I just hoped he'd represent a friend of mine. But, and he's just like, well, I have he has his hands full with my lovely mother, just says it in such like a creepy way. And then, you got Riley who just kind of steps right into it. And she basically just says, like, you know, since your dad is representing your mom, maybe you should know about what I just found out about,
Yep.
which is the proof, the illegally withheld evidence and all of this, and the proof of Jensen, that Jensen killed Red Garrett, all of this, and oh man, she just totally
It's a
shook into it.
mess. It's because that's going to screw everything up, and obviously gives Jensen now a head start.
Yep, yep. Which Adam tips him off about. Yeah, I got evidence who really killed my great grandpa. So,
Yep.
it's just, oh, Riley. But then we also have, Adam just, speaking of his lovely mother,
Yep.
decides at the very end of the episode, when poor Sarah's just trying to go to sleep, he sneaks up and, gets into her house somehow. Which, come on, it's in a state, for crying out loud. And what, like, I know
Yeah.
Mortimer's gone, but, like, doesn't she have, like,
There's got to be some
guards,
kind of
someone on
security.
the ground, security system, something? Because these dudes just, like, wind up in her bed or in her
Yeah.
bedroom or in her house. It's like, this isn't good, honey. Like, it's one thing to, like, have Jensen's name still on your property. It's the fact that, like, these guys that were able to access your property, you really gotta, up your security game.
Yeah.
Like, come on, you're like the queen of Bay City. You should have, like, guards and crap.
Exactly.
But Adam manages to sneak past whatever security or lack thereof there was, and just slips his hand over Sarah's mouth. Don't scream, don't struggle. You come with me without a fight.
Yeah.
End of that. And it's just
And that
like,
goes to black.
great. You're kidnapping your
Obviously, we
mother.
don't know what he
That's
has up
great.
his sleeve. We don't know what he's going to do with her, because that's where it goes to black. So,
I
there
don't
was.
think they're just going to have a nice, friendly conversation. Just,
Oh no, absolutely not.
my gut's just telling me that, Just...
Oh yeah. And then there is one other scene that we kind of glossed over was Daniel had a date.
Yes.
He and this guy.
We got another creepy guy. Like, come on.
Yeah. Well, see, here's the thing: is that I think they're showing Daniel's. Obviously, they're showing his being new to coming out as gay and accepting himself, because in the gay community, and you could listen to sex therapists and stuff, there's a lot of promiscuity in the gay community and a lot of aggressive hooking up and stuff. So somebody who's just coming into their own, like they're showing Daniel very uncomfortable with that. So I just saw this guy. He's like he's comfortable with who he is. He's comfortable being gay, and now he took this date just to get laid.
Yeah, no, it came off as just kind of when he gets a little bit like, take it to my place, even though Daniel is clearly uncomfortable at that point. And the guy is still kind of pursuing him at the very end of their conversation. That's when I was just like, okay, dude, leave him the frick alone, And then he's all, call me when you're a man and all of that. And it's just like, dude, like, okay. Like, at first when he was like swinging on the lamppost, you see this guy and you just like, you're happy. You're just like, oh, he's found someone. Yay. And then it just quickly transcends into, oh no, wait a minute. No, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
And he just,
so then he says he has to leave and
no,
takes
it was
off.
an interesting, quick little scene, but it is showing more of just Daniel's kind of journey, in terms of like, now that he's just come out and now that he's just trying to like find his way, he runs into, and even this guy, he did like say something like, some of the stuff he was saying was kind of hoping someone has like the balls to, make advances towards you. You love the adrenaline. And you got to admit, like, even though like it was under like the cloak of drugs, alcohol, whatnot, he was kind of looking for that like bit of thrill, and when he was trying to figure himself out, so there's a little bit of, truth in there, a little bit, but either way, you just kind of feel it's a bad date for Daniel.
Very bad date for Daniel. Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's it.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else we missed or didn't touch on, but no, I think we covered it all. But very jam-packed episode as always, and just a lot of action, a lot going on, and it's almost more when we were covering like two per week. It was almost a little bit. I feel like now, I don't know. I just feel like there's more crammed in, even with one episode. Look at how long.
Oh yeah.
Managed to. So.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we're just about out of time. We kind of covered everything. As always, jam-packed episodes. We will be back next week. If you're watching this or listening to this early, that is because you're a Patreon member, and go over to patreon.com/Suds and Sports Circle and join up. You get all of our pre-recorded programming early and ad-free. And then, whatever else that you want to do to support us, you can go ahead and do that. If you want to just support the show, go over to buymeacoffee.com/Suds Media and buy us a coffee. We will use that to help grow the show, whether it is interviews or going to fan events or what have you. We'll be able to do that. So definitely help us out. And with that, and again, if you are a wrestling fan and you want to buy some merch from WWE, we are an official affiliate of WWE Shop, which is a Fanatics experience. Go over to suds-media.com/wrestling merch and go ahead and in that code is our affiliate link. Whatever you buy using that code, we will get a commission off of. So that again helps the show as well. All right. And again, we are also an affiliate for Podpage. If you're a website out there and you are looking for a great website, if you're podcast looking for a website, go over to podpage.com/suds. Again, that gives us a commission, and it gives you a fantastic website with fully automated processes to pull shows from your RSS feed and your YouTube feed, and then share them to your social media. So a lot of it is just completely automated. You can also add pages for your cast and your crew and all this other stuff on there. Podpage.com/suds to get started today. Anything else?
Can't think of anything. Nothing's really, springing to mind. But I'm looking forward to diving into the next episode next week.
Yep.
Hopefully, I don't run into any. I'm getting back from LA Monday night. Hopefully, I won't run into any craziness that we can do.
Yeah, just let us know. Let me know. If we have,
and if there's any fun soapy scoop that I hear about when I'm out there, I'll pass it along when I can.
Yeah, absolutely. So for Kim, I'm Vinnie. We will see you next week, Dockside at the Bay. Have a great night, everybody.
Take care, everybody.